Hey guys, how's it going? It's Alice. Welcome back to my channel. Wow, that was beautiful. Thank you. Oh, no. Donations aren't necessary. Just like, comment, and subscribe. So today we're going to be testing out a sponge, a makeup sponge. Yes, that is why I have my eyeshadow done, but nothing else. You've probably seen other versions of this sponge online. This is kind of like a knockoff. But yeah, long story short, here it is. This is the AOA Wonder Blender, and it is a microfiber makeup sponge from shopmissa.com. I love Shop Miss A. This isn't sponsored, but they've sponsored me in the past. I did a full face of makeup using Shop Miss A products, and I'll link that up in the eye and down below. But anyway, that was sponsored, but I've been a customer of Shop Miss A for a while. I love them, and I will be for the foreseeable future because everything is a fucking dollar, and I love dollar stores. I love cheap shit, bitch. That's my jam. Now, I know you're probably thinking, wait, bitch, it said that was $155. How is an online dollar store if it's $155? So this is the Paw Paw Edition blender. It says here 55 cents of each Paw Paw product sold. Help support animals in need. Visit shopmissa.com to learn more about our charity. Thanks for your support. So they have a bunch of stuff that costs a little bit extra and it goes to charity. Let's dig into this blender. It says here this soft microfiber velvet sponge can be used wet or dry. Absorbs 50% less product than a standard beauty sponge. It gives you a natural airbrushed finish. And the packaging is perfect for ASMR. Anywho, so this might look familiar because there's a brand called Juno & Co, I think is what it is, and they make a microfiber sponge, and that's probably where Shop Miss A got the idea from. Maybe, I don't know, who knows. Nikki Tutorials has done a video on theirs. A lot of people have done a video on that one, but this one's only $1, bitch. So, and oh my, it's soft. Feels like a stuffed animal. I love it. I love soft things. I'm that bitch who walks through Costco and I need to touch every soft blanket, every soft robe, every soft pillow. I'm super annoying to my boyfriend, but I don't care. Like, comment, and subscribe if you can relate. Doesn't smell like anything. I got the little gray one. It's so cute and so soft and adorable. So we're gonna see if this thing can perform as well as, I mean, I can directly compare it to the AOA, oh wow, that's dirty, the AOA Beauty Blender knockoff, just like the regular sponge. I have literally all types of sponges in here. I have everything other than an actual beauty blender. I've got the Ulta sponge. I have Real Techniques. I mean, I have a lot of sponges. Okay, I know what a good sponge is, and we're gonna see if this is a good sponge. Really intrigued because microfiber, you know those microfiber towels? Those are really good for removing makeup. Like if you've ever seen the makeup wipe, that's like a microfiber type material that you just get wet with water. It can remove your makeup without any makeup remover, and I've tried it and it's amazing. And this is gonna be interesting to see if this can apply foundation and concealer and powder and not like remove it, you know what I mean? So I'm gonna shut the fuck up. I'm gonna go get this wet and I'll be right back. I've returned and the sponge is wet, honey. It's a little bit bigger. It's a lot softer. Just so there's no tomfoolery, I'm gonna use my Holy Grail CYO Lifeproof Foundation. Yes, honey, I know how this shit performs. And then I'm gonna lighten it up with a dab of Illamasqua Skin Base in white. So let's do this. Oh gosh, I didn't prime. I'm just gonna use this e.l.f. primer. It mattifies me a little bit. I've been using it forever. It's good stuff. Boop. Normally, I put my foundation on with a brush really quickly, just boom, 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 slather it all over the place, and then go in with a sponge to soften everything up, but I'm just gonna do straight up sponge I'm going straight up sponge on this one just so we can really test it out. Alright. Okay, so it feels like it really sucked up a lot of that foundation. Not gonna lie. Like, I feel like I squeezed out like a decent amount. And if I was using a brush with that amount, it would have gone a little bit further, I think. That's annoying. It's really nice and soft. I mean, it feels great. Hopefully I'm not getting out of frame. I'm trying to get, like, I'm kind of blind and I need my mirror to be very close to me. It's doing pretty good. Oh, don't wipe though, because look at that. Like, your foundation will just go away, honey. So I feel like that this is looking really similar to when I just use a normal makeup, like a beauty sponge or whatever, but it's already like dry, which is interesting. I don't know, I kind of like the moistness to stay a little bit longer. Let's try it out with some concealer. I've been really into the Urban Decay All Nighter Concealer, so let's use that. Alright, moment of truth. Well, if I'll be... That looks beautiful and airbrushed and stunning. Sometimes when I watch my videos back, I'm like in shock with how much concealer I use, like when I'm editing. But the funny thing is, when I'm sitting here, I'm like, yeah, I definitely need this much. Like, this is how much I need. I like how it gets in there on the side of my nose without having to push too hard. Some sponges, like, I really have struggled with like getting it in that little crevice. But this one's doing pretty good. That was actually really nice for concealer. Cause it's so kind of like dry, it doesn't reduce the coverage of the concealer. And I feel like it didn't absorb too much of it. I definitely don't think that you should squeeze your product onto this thing, because I think it really absorbed a lot of the foundation when I did that. But just putting the concealer on my skin and then blending it around, I think that worked really well. Love that for concealer. Should we see if it'll work well for my cream contour? I really like using Milk Makeup's bronzer stick in Blaze for my contour. Normally I blend it in with a brush because I feel like usually with like beauty sponges, they're usually like a little too moist and they just don't grip the pigment well enough to like blend it. That was really just a dumb way of explaining it, but I usually use a brush for this product. Wow. Let's give it a go. Wow. You know what? I mean, it does okay. I just feel like it takes way too long. I would need to do a wiping motion, and I think that kind of just pulls the product off. So I'm just gonna finish up with the brush here. So yeah, for a stippling type motion, like these fibers are nice, and it's easier than using a regular sponge, but it doesn't beat a brush because the fibers are longer and it just blends it faster. You know what I mean? Alright, let's try it out with some powder next. This is my favorite powder, RCMA No Color. Here goes nothing. I don't know why I'm surprised. It's In reality, it's kind of like one of these powder puffs, huh? I wonder if you could get this wet and do your foundation with it. Oh my god. Could you imagine? That's literally what this is. Oh my god. Is it? I'm shook. I'm trying this next, y'all. You better wait and see, honey. Back to the task at hand here. We're baking. It's picking up the powder really well. Sometimes when I pick up my powder with a damp beauty blender, it like packs it in and kind of like starts dissolving the powder, and it makes it harder to pick up afterwards. But this is picking up a lot of powder at once. So I like that. You don't have to dip in as much. Ooh. Makes that really easy too. It just glides along so effortlessly. Alright, I have more powder on my face than I've ever had, and it's starting to feel a little dry, so I'm gonna wipe that away. Powders in my... okay, there we have it. Upon kind of like first impression, my face is feeling a teensy bit dry. I think it's because I'm used to doing with a sponge and having like a little bit of moisture like on my skin and kind of like watering down the products that I'm using. This sponge doesn't really do that. It's more dry, so that means you really are just getting like that product on your face. Also, I think with the powder, it's not melting down the powder at all. It's really just boom, powder, that's it. It's just dry powder, and I feel like it applies a lot more powder than a wet beauty blender. So there's that to consider, but the coverage is there. It's giving a beautiful full coverage, like fantasy. I like that. I'm gonna finish my face, let everything settle in, and then I'll be right back. Alright guys, so the face is done. Let me zoom you in so you can see. Now keep in mind that this is not really a review for like the foundation, it's more so the sponge. And yeah, I could have done like a side by side, but I didn't, so sue me. There's the face, the complexion, just so you can see, because I know it's very hard to see with the camera far away, with all the lights and stuff. I think I like the sponge. I like the sponge. I'm holding it up. It's dirty. I like the sponge. I don't think it would totally replace a regular makeup sponge like this. I think it worked very nicely for foundation. I recommend not squeezing the product directly onto the sponge because it seems to absorb a lot. Put it on your face with your finger, with a brush, some other way, and then go in with the sponge. For concealer, love it for concealer because I definitely don't want any coverage to be taken away from my concealer, but I never use a brush to blend concealer because it'll leave streaks. So this is actually my new favorite thing for concealer. It's perfect. You can get it nice and small and boop, 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 boop. You know, for cream contour, it beats a regular sponge for me, especially with the one that I use. But I do think that this is better than just a sponge because it has those fibers and it actually grips the product and it can help move it around. Just think it takes a little too long. For powder, this is where I'm like, I'm not sure. I think I like it better than a sponge for powder. It applies a lot of powder, so if you like a lot of powder, if you like being able to pick up, like the fibers on this grip the powder and it holds onto the powder until you put it on your face, and you can apply a lot more powder easily this way. Also, when dipping in, it doesn't melt it doesn't melt or stick the powder down too much. Ooh, I bet with a pressed powder this would be great because you could sweep, like pick it up and then put it on. The only thing though with me is I feel like it applied a little too much powder for me and made me look a little dry and cakey, like a little bit more than usual. So that was the one downside. I think now I know it picks up a lot of powder and it puts down a lot of powder. So go a little lighter on it if you tend to be dry. Just saying. But yeah, other than that, I enjoy this thing. It's cool. And for $1.55 and 55 cents of that is going to charity. I think it's great. I enjoyed testing this out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching this video. Hopefully you found it useful, helpful, entertaining, good background noise. If you want to see how I created this makeup look, I'll link that video below. or maybe it's not up yet and you just have to subscribe if you want to see it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!